let's look at a few special cases. Now, with the idea of square roots and third roots and fourth roots, the idea with the root is that it undoes an exponent. Now, we do have to be a little bit careful. The idea is that the root and the exponent will cancel out, whether it's even or odd, but be careful. If it's an odd root, the number can actually stay negative. If it's an even root with an even exponent, it will always be a positive answer. So if it's an even root, we can only get positive answers out because we're doing a positive exponent. However, if it's an odd, we can get a positive or a negative out. Okay, so what do we mean by this? Let's look at a couple examples. In the first one, we've got the square root of 5 squared. Well, if you weren't sure what was going on here, you'd say, well, let me do the 5 squared first, which is 25. So you'd have the square root of 25, which we've already said is just what? Square root of 25 is just equal to 5. So what happened here is the square root and the squared are in a sense canceling each other out, just leaving you with the 5 underneath. However, look at this next answer and problem, is we have the square root of negative 5 squared. What happens when you square a negative? Well, when you square a negative, you get a positive. So we'll end up with the square root of positive 25. Well, the square root of positive 25 is still 5. So, yes, in a sense, the square root and the squared cancel out, but you did a even exponent, which made this negative positive first before anything canceled, which means on problem C, when you raise it to the 6th power first, that will make this negative turn into a positive. But yes, the square root the 6th root and the 6th power will cancel out, but we will get a positive 4 because that 6th exponent will make everything positive first. On the next one, though, that is not true, because we have a negative multiplied by itself 3 times, which is still going to be a negative, and the cube root of a negative can still be a negative. So, yes, the cube and the cube root will cancel out, but it will stay a negative 8, and it's because we're dealing with odd things here, whereas here in C we were dealing with things that were even. Not to make things more confusing, E is even more different than that because the negative is on the outside, which means the negative will go on at the end. So whatever my answer is, no matter what, my answer will be negative. So if I look at the root, though, I've got a 4th root and 4th exponent. Those will directly cancel out, leaving you with the 3. It's just that the negative gets added on at the end. So my answer is negative 3. The only reason why it's okay to get a negative on this one is because the negative was on the outside, making it go on at the end.